So for the longest time, I've had my eye on this lens. It's the Canon 70-200 f2.8 lens. It's like $2,700. For that reason right there, you always have to wonder, is this lens worth it? It's a super high price tag. Does it deliver the quality you're looking for, or what you'd expect out of an almost $3,000 lens? I recently got my hands on this one right here, and I used it for 2 full days shooting a wedding. So we're gonna talk about all the features, all the specs, and hopefully by the end of the video, you'll know whether or not this is worth the price to you. All right, so before we talk about all the features and all the this and that about the actual lens, I wanted to kind of let you guys know the reason why I wanted to use this lens versus the lens I currently have, which is this kit lens, which is a 24-240 f4. So let's just talk about the differences and why I wanted this lens. So first of all, in like a run and gun situation where you have like a lot of different lighting scenarios, so you don't really know what to expect. You want lower aperture. That way you have more room to work in low light, just because you're not going to be able to put flashes and stuff into like a ceremony room and have flashes going all the time if you're shooting a wedding. Usually you'd like some type of lens that's more versatile, so like a zoom lens, which the 70-200 is perfect for that, because at 70 mil you can get like nice medium to tight shots without distorting people, and then at 200 millimeter you can get across the room or across wherever you need to punch way in and not being up in everybody's business all the time when they're trying to watch the ceremony. Generally, when the run and gun situation, you go for the zoom lens, or at least I would. So the zoom lens that I currently have is this kit lens that came with the Canon RP, and it's a 24-240 f4. It's got stabilization and the focus ring, and that's about it. So the bad thing about this lens is that it's an f4, and then the further you zoom in, it actually increases the aperture, and I can't do anything about it. So if I'm at an f4 at 24 mil and I zoom way into 240, it bumps you all the way up to like a, I don't even know what it is. Let's see if I had an f4 right now and I zoom all the way in. Now I'm at f6.3, and that's the lowest aperture I can use. Problem with that, like I said, is I don't have any control over what the lighting scenario is going to look like at the wedding. So then if I'm at a f6.3 zoomed into 240 millimeter all the way across the room and it's low light, then all the photos are going to come out grainy. That's just kind of how it's going to be. So to give yourself a leg up as far as making sure that the pictures are as clear as you can possibly get them, then you want a lens that is much lower in aperture. So that's where the 70-200 comes to mind, because it's an f2.8, which is constant. If I'm at 70 or if I'm at 200, this lens is always going to be at f2.8 or whatever other aperture you choose to set it to, which is really, really nice. And it's a big, big feature of this lens. It does have stabilization on it, and it does work fairly well. When you're going to do like a paid gig, or you're delivering some type of product for somebody that they're hopefully going to be looking at for years and years to come, you want crystal clear photos, and a good way to get that is, especially if you can't be locked off to a tripod all the time, is a stabilizer. Now this lens obviously has a stabilizer like the kit lens that I told you about, but the difference between this one is it actually has 3 separate modes. So you can have mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, and it's basically just stabilizer strength. So if you pair the stabilizing capability with this lens and whatever camera you have, maybe you have a camera that's got IBIS or whatever, then you should have a super ultra crystal clear image by the time you're zoomed all the way into 200 across the room. You shouldn't have to worry about blurry photos. So that's a nice feature of this lens. Another big difference obviously between these two is just that this is just a regular old kit lens, and then this is Canon's L series line, which is the L series lenses are like basically the nicest lenses you can get. They're weather sealed. They'll have all the flagship features like we're talking about. They have the best glass, so there you'll get the clearest, sharpest image possible. Another cool feature of this lens is that there's a little switch right here that says full or 2.5 meters to infinity. That basically just means that you can choose how far away or how close you can actually focus on something. So you can focus on things pretty close with this lens. But if you don't want to focus on things that are closer, you're trying to focus on, maybe you don't want to be zoomed all the way into a 200. You want to be somewhere like 135, but you don't want it trying to catch focus of something that's a lot closer to you, then you can just switch this over. And it's anything that's outside of that focal range, 2.5 meters from you, then it's not going to try to focus on that. So it's not going to be hunting focus all the time, which is really nice. The other thing, it's got an additional little ring. I rented the lens from lensrental.com, and this, not a sponsored video, but that's where I rented it from. So I don't know a whole lot about the lens. It's not like I own this and I've had it for a year or nothing like that. It's got this additional little control ring. So you have all the RF lenses have this standard control ring where you can set like any other setting to it. Or you can aperture or ISO. I always set my ISO to that. But then I just noticed that it's got this other ring here. I don't know if that's for like pulling manual focus or what it might be for, but I'm assuming you can also customize whatever setting you want for that. So it's got an additional ring on it, which is kind of nice. And then it's got this big clamp here for putting on your tripod, because this lens is actually so heavy because all the glass elements and all that stuff in it. and the stabilizer and all that is just very weighty. So if you put this on the front side of your camera, especially with today's modern mirrorless cameras, it's going to be super front heavy. So they give you this little mount for the lens to put your tripod right there. That way the weight's more balanced on your tripod basically. And then the last little switch, obviously it has a little locking button that all the RF lenses have. It just locks it into place, so you can lock it into 70 mil. That way when you're traveling, it's not trying to open and close all the time. Okay, so that basically covers just the general features and reasons or versus, you know, for my kit lens that I have. Some of the main reasons, obviously, if you're going to shoot somebody's wedding, you always want to provide the best possible product to the people. And if you don't have a lens like this because it's too expensive, you can always rent it. Like I mentioned before, I got this from lensrental.com. I'll put a link for them in the description. I don't have, you know, like I said, it's not sponsored or anything. I knew about the company already and I tried them out and it's actually been a really good experience. So I got to package this thing up tonight and send it out tomorrow. I had it for a week and it was like about $140-ish to have this for a week. And that was with the like $15 damage insurance for it. So then you can also get additional coverage for in case it gets stolen as well. So I think it's like $30 for that, which isn't bad. But again, I don't own this lens because it's so expensive, so I decided to rent it, which is way, 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 way cheaper. And if you're getting paid for the job that you're doing anyway, then it's not a big deal to rent a piece of equipment because you can always add it to the price. So you want to provide the best product, the best image, the clearest, the sharpest, and that's this lens for sure, especially over this kit lens, this 24-240. And the kit lens isn't terrible. I've taken people's photos, maybe portraits and like senior photos with this lens. And you know, when you deliver a good photo, it doesn't matter so much the lens, but it's like once you hit a certain level, then it's just as the photographer, you know what makes this lens so special versus this lens. It is what it is. I mean, the price is expensive, but if you're doing it professionally, then you can pay it off pretty quickly. You know, so if you're charging, you know, an appropriate amount of money to do what you do and you're good at it and people want you to do it, then you'll pay off something like this pretty quickly. So the price isn't so insane, especially because in today's, you know, if you got decent credit anyway, you can get a card and finance it for 0% or something like that. That's always a good option. But I went for this lens. As soon as I got asked to do this job, I was like, I'm renting a lens and this is the lens I'm going to do. I've always wanted to own this lens, but at least try it out, and this is kind of my trial to see if I want to actually go into some debt and get this thing. So it is what it is. But after using it, I used it for 2 days. I went and shot the rehearsal dinner. The nice thing about that, just if you're watching this as like a photographer or beginning photographer or whatever, the nice thing about that was I was able to basically scout the location. So it was really nice to be able to go to offer some candid photos for their rehearsal, and they were doing rehearsals and rehearsal dinner, so they want some, you know, some moments, and so it's nothing posed and nothing like that. So it's nice to be able to offer those photos to them and just as a memory. But the main reason why I wanted to go do that was because I was able to see the location, see the lighting, see how warm or cool the lighting was, see what the lighting was going to be on the bride and groom the day of, and just see what we're working with. And I'm glad that I got this lens, because had I not gotten this lens, all the photos in the ceremony, all the important photos would have been very, very grainy. Just for the simple fact, like I said before, my kit lens that is a zoom lens, it zooms in farther, but further doesn't matter if it can't handle the low light, and it's just going to offer more and more grain. So the nice thing about this is I can zoom into 200 mil, get right into where I need to be, and then I'm still at an f2.8, and that way I can be at an f2.8, get a nice shallow depth of field, and then set my shutter speed, you know, not super high, but high enough to stop all the motion, because you don't want blurred photos either. So when these people are moving and they're laughing and the pastor's talking and all these things, you want to set your shutter speed appropriately. That way you stop that motion and you don't get blurred photos. Plus, you can still keep your f2.8. So this is just the best of both worlds. It's like the perfect lens for that scenario. So I'm very glad I rented it for that. All the photos that I took, even though they were low light, they were very tack sharp. It just feels quality, number one. I mean, heavy is heavy, but you know how it is, like when you pick up something super light, you're like, gosh, this feels cheap. I don't mind how heavy this is, just because you know it's built to last and it's a good piece of glass that is going to perform well for you. So I don't mind the weight. But again, I used it for 2 whole days. I can't say enough how much I love this lens. It's just so fun to shoot with. I find myself wanting to take pictures with it more. Yes, it's super duper crystal clear. I love the stabilization in it. The 3-stage stabilization is like a game changer. And if you turn it off, you can actually tell a big difference when you actually go and turn the stabilizer off, or even switch from mode 3 all the way to mode 1. I found mode 1 to be the strongest. I haven't read the manual or anything on it, but mode 1 was definitely the strongest. And I could be zoomed in all the way at 200 handheld, and that thing is very steady. So performed really, really well. And I just enjoyed it. It was really nice. I mean, even down to the look of the lens. I mean, look at this thing. It just looks like a professional piece of equipment. And when you put that on your camera and people see you taking photos, they're like, ah, this dude is professional. You know, they know what they're doing just by the look of that lens. I mean, the lens is expensive, like I said, but it performs in every area that you need it to. And this lens isn't going to be the one, you know, a one-stop shop. It's not like I had the 7200 on my camera the entire wedding, because there's some instances where it just doesn't work out. So when I'm doing portraits of the groom or portraits of the bride, or I'm doing full group photos and stuff like that, I'm not gonna use the 7200 because it doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna switch over to my 50mm or whatever I need to switch to. This lens was perfect for everything I needed to be for that ceremony, and capturing all those moments while they're happening from a distance if I needed to, but also still keeping that really tack sharp quality and retaining that shallow depth of field that I really like to have in my photos when you want your subject to pop. Otherwise, if you're zoomed into like an f6.5 or f6, you know, if you're zoomed in with this kit lens over here, this 2040-240 at a f6.3, it's a noticeable difference from f6.3 to a f2.8 when you're talking about getting that subject to stand out and to really pop. Sometimes it might be a little too shallow, but I found it to be perfect. And again, I would rather a lens that goes down to f2.8 than a lens that goes down to f4. And you're gonna, you know, it's a big price difference for those two lenses as well. Now I will say the mount on this for the tripod mount or whatever, I kept it on because I didn't know if I was gonna have to use a monopod when I was shooting the wedding. But I should have just took it off because I didn't have time with the run and gun scenario to put it on, even on the monopod, and just snap it on and off all the time. So that, you know, probably weighs it down a little bit more. So that's probably like my only con, I would say, is that I had it on there and didn't use it. I mean, it's not like a con against the lens, it just makes it heavier, but it is what it is. I don't really have anything bad to say about the lens. Maybe I'm just super happy that I got it or used it or whatever. This is a lens I've been wanting to get my hands on for a very long time. But yeah, it performed in every area. Hopefully this video is not super long and I'm rambling, but long story short, it did it. I shot a wedding, handled it for 2 straight days. It did exactly what I needed to do. The photos were tack sharp. I love the feature that you can be an f2.8 at 70mm and also at 200mm. I love that it's weather sealed. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, got a little bit of rain outside or something like that. This lens can handle it. The stabilizers in it, game changing, because when you're zoomed all the way in, you need to be rock solid to keep those tack sharp photos. Worked flawlessly. I just can't say enough about the lens, honestly. So if you are looking at this lens, you're on the fence about it, and you're looking to really upgrade, first of all, they do make an f4 version of this lens. So if the f2.8 feature, you're not like make or break on it. If you really don't care about that, which, you know, it is what it is. Every photographer is different. They do make an f4 version of this exact same lens. That's like, I don't know, I think it's like $1,000 cheaper. It's a lot of money cheaper. But if it's me and I'm doing it professionally and I'm shooting photos for people and photos that they're going to look at for their whole life, and you really want to deliver a high quality product and you want the versatility and you want this to be able to perform for you, I would just opt for the f2.8. I mean, if you're going to be spending $1,000 or $1,500 on another lens anyway, just finance it or something. Like, honestly, there's so many options out there today. You can just get it for 0% and pay on it for the next 6 months or whatever you want to do. But I would buy this lens today. If I had the cash, I would go and buy it right now. That's how good it is. That's how well it performed. That's how good the photos that I took with the lens are. They're crystal clear. And like I said, I can't say enough. So if you are on the fence about it, I would just do it. Yeah, it's overall, it's a great lens. That's been my review of the Canon RF 70-200 f2.8. If you guys got any questions, comments, any bad things you want to say about the lens, anything that I missed or whatever, something that you know about this lens that I didn't cover that I don't know, go ahead and drop it all in the comments section below, guys, and we'll continue that conversation down there. So if you like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Crap. All right. Last feature I forgot to cover. It comes with this little lens hood, right? And it just, you put it on there like this, snap it in place. And then it's got this little trap door underneath it. So you can actually use it with ND filters or polarizers or whatever you want to So if you're shooting outside and you need an ND on and you have the lens hood on, you can still get up under here and change your ND. Pretty sweet feature. I really like that. Didn't use it, but it is a sweet feature. But like I said, like and subscribe.